Hi everyone, this is Larry Jeepingmo, and today we're going to go through a weld table build. We're not going to go step by step. That'd be an extremely long video, but we hit some of the key points, show you some of the things we did and maybe why we did them, and some of the features we added to it to make it more functional and hopefully more functional for you as well. If you have any questions as we go, leave them in the comments. It was a lot of welding, but that 110 Lincoln did a great job. Then I just kept checking across corners to make sure I was within at least a 16th. I had to clamp a couple of them, but it all worked out. I had to drill and tap the feet for half 13 for those car lane feet. Then the part of welding nobody likes, material prep. Had to grind off all the rust and stuff on the backside, and I only ground through the mill scale in the areas we were going to weld. If you're going to be doing stuff like this where you have legs or something you're going to hold square, these 246 blocks, angle plates, or even fireball make some really nice fixturing. It's definitely worth the money. You know, we've got a limited amount of room in this garage. And unfortunately, I can't have it sitting in the middle because I still work on cars. Kind of got this idea from a woodworking shop that I had. So these wheels will mount on the sides and they'll lock when you push down and lift it up. When you want it to sit down, you just raise it up and it'll sit down on the metal feet. Now these are rated for over 600 pounds. I don't think the table's near that. All right, so let's get them on. I have the levers bolted, just clamped on. So the goal of these is, if you step on it, there's a series of holes I need to put in the top of this plate so we can add clamps to it as we need, depending on what we're going to clamp to it. I left about a 3-inch lip all the way around it so that I can clamp. But what I really like is these wheels that I put on. Just these levers, because I can't just leave it in the middle of my garage, right? So you put the levers down, and then so once they're down, then I can roll the table around anywhere I need to. I'm not trying to slide it on the hard feet. Now it's got heavy duty feet on it. You know, those feet are made for 1,500 pounds each. And I don't think I'll use near that. But that way, if I'm working on projects, the table's at a good working height. This little temporary table was nice, but it's a backbreaker to weld at. This is more of a workbench height. So I used a plasma cutter to cut all the tubing. It's quicker than a cutoff wheel, but requires more, a lot more cleanup time. We have a new, really cool new cold saw coming in. It won't be here till the end of the month. We made it 40 inches tall, and that would just so it's a good working height, so you're not hunched over the table. It's just big enough to fit my Miller 220 in, and our Cutmaster 40 plasma cutter. And you can see I got some accessory. It's where I hang the foot pedal on. I always weld with the respirator. I grind with the respirator. I've breathed too much garbage over the years. And I had another little roll around side box that I put on the side, and that's where I keep all the layout tools, extra tips, things like that. I just, you know, I'm using the clamps as a place to hold everything. And then we have a spot on the side for the bottles. So the bottles sit in both ends. Since we MIG and TIG, there's a bottle of C25 and a bottle of pure argon. And it's just chained in. And a little cradle cut out. I'll leave the stinger for the stick in there as well. Just welded to the frame. But on the back we have a little TIG stand that we built for all the different TIG rods. And a spot for clamps. Now typically all my plasma cutting I will do on this little table, which was the first table we bought. I'll plasma cut on there, so I'm not spraying everything all over the table and the welders below. So that's why the plasma torch and everything is on the back side of the table. It's all 1/8 inch tube. We drilled the table 1/2 inch holes. So we laid out a 4x4 pattern over the top, laid it out, center punched it. We spot drilled all the holes with the smaller diameter, and then took 2 drills to actually get it up to the 1/2 inch size to make sure it was sized properly. This is where I found out that the secondary drill bit needed sharpened. So we just used the hard stone on an angle grinder, sharpened it, and went right back in, cut like brand new. If you ever want to know how to sharpen drill bits, leave me a comment and I'll make a video on it. We always appreciate everybody who watched our videos. If you're not already subscribed, we would ask that you would. We would really appreciate it. And what we did is we went to Harbor Freight, and they got these cheap little, they're like $3 or $4 clamps, and you just cut the threads off. And when they go down into the table, they just wedge, put it on your work and tighten down. We pre-drilled and drilled so they weren't real sloppy. For a couple bucks, you can have a set of clamps. So it's a couple things you should buy is a couple gun stands, whether it's for your TIG torch or your MIG gun, either way. Especially if you have a multi-process welder, that works out great. Once again, we got a place to hang the pedal. That works out very nice for us. So we tied up a surge protector to one of the legs, and that's what we run the tungsten grinder with. And we just bought the end and a $20 Harbor Freight grinder. You can spend more. Trust me, there's plenty of things to spend money on. But that's the basic table. You know, I think there's some things you'll need, like I use these 1, 2, 3 blocks. I've got a ton of these from being in the trade for years. The 2, 4, 6 blocks come in handy, some angle plates. I know they make a lot of other nice hardware out there, but it all helps in building a better product. And one thing we recently added to this is this pull out. So this way, when I want to get to everything, I can pull it out. I can get to the wire. I can change wire real easy. Right? And I just had a set of slides, and we just took some angle iron and the cabinet. Those are heavy duty cabinet slides, and that way I can pull it out as needed. Might eventually build one for the plasma cutter as well. So that was building our welding table. We started with the 110 MIG, and we finished it up with our Miller. The 110 did a good job. You can do a lot of work with the 110. You know, it has its limitations, but it's like most things, whatever size you plan on, you really need one size larger, and it doesn't matter how big you start with. And if you need any supplies, we're affiliate now for Rockmount Welding Alloys, so check them out. Tell them Jeepingmo sent you. And if you need any kind of welding tips or tricks or anything like that, we've got a video on here for welding basics. It just helps you get started. It doesn't teach you how to be a welder. Just some of the things you need to know in the very beginning. And as always, check out some of our merch. So if you like the content here on the channel, please remember to share them, leave me some comments. It always helps. We're always looking for new things to build, especially here. And hopefully get out on a trail here more often. All right, so whether it's in the garage or in a trail or at a show somewhere, this is Jeepingmo. I'll see you there.